Great, we got the list because I was making this kind of Monchique list, and for my presentation, I think this kind of name could be something like the roots of sounds, the roots of singing. Yep, I've been talking about this before, but now since I forgot my hymn book, I have only this modern hymn book with me, and I read from there the words. Carlos. I should meant to say God, but I said Carlos. Sorry about that. Yeah. I have read here, like introducing myself. So I have a list that I should speak about that helps always. So, yeah, so I'm a singer of traditional poetry. It's called Kalevala-like poetry. The Kalevala-like poetry is a bit misleading name because Kalevala is the collection of poetry collected mainly at 19th century from Karelia, Ingria and Finland, a very large area. And also, at least some of the Karelians regard Kalevala as their national epic book. And I think even some Ingrians maybe, because there's a lot of Ingrian stuff also. And especially singing in Ingria was really big. I mean, especially female choirs, you know, with their voices, you know. So I will talk, when I talk about Kalevala-like singing, I mean this whole area, large area. And we had more than 100 collectors, you know, mainly at 19th century, lots of them. And I think there's about 1,000 melodies collected from like Finland and Karelia, and about, I think, around 800 from Ingria melodies. And I also have these 34 books that you can use those melodies to sing them, these texts. 34 thick books. So it's like endless. The tradition is very large, and we should have the largest folk poetry archives in the world. And then I think comes Ireland and Estonia after that. So it's very big. So it's been said that it's the largest songbook in the world. It's 34 books. And Lönnrot said that he could have written 5 or 7 Kalevalas based on these texts. So whenever you feel like writing another Kalevala, there's enough material for it, definitely. And also Lönnrot called it's like another language we have, a like more holy language, like a sacred language. And it is at least 2,000 years old, this Kalevala-like way of singing. The linguists have found it out through the changes in the language, so it's actually 2,000 years old tradition. And I think it was in everyday use also with people, but especially in like ceremonies, it was ceremonial language, but also a folk poetry language. So everything was sort of written in this 8 syllable, often 8. If you had 9 or 10, they were packed in the beginning. Like Yasit and Tuulik, so they put extra word in the beginning. And the old style was more like 5 beats, and then we had and later we had like 4 beats, but the older style is like 5 beats. That's how it. Something general about it. How many of you know about this Kalevala-like singing? Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So
What do you know about that?
It's from Finland, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
You are singing it all the time.
I do sing it. And great, that's a good beginning. And I will play you some examples because then you get a much better idea. Yes, I have called it like the roots of words and singing. My experiences are from like rural villages, you know, from the people I met. Also, there are still people that I met, they also come to my workshops because I teach also this Kalevala singing, and their ancestors are part of Kalevala texts. So I met a couple of people who come to my workshop, which is really strange. But you know, I just want to say it's a living tradition. These relatives are still singing, and we also had this Jussi Huovinen in Vienna, Karelia. We had like 3 Vienna Karelian villages in Finland, Finnish side, and he was called the last Runo singer. He died about 10 years ago, but I also met her daughter, she lives in Germany, and she's also singing exactly the same way. So it's an ongoing chain of Runo singers also. Yeah, definitely. Yep.
I'll clarify, Vienna Meri is the White Sea, so it's just a Finnish name, that Vienna. I don't think it's in English.
Yeah, it's a White Sea.
White Sea is like that.
Yeah.
Vielämori.
It has milk waves. I have seen them. They come very close, like 10 meters. They're very big, white. And there's a lot of rock carvings about this white waves. Beautiful. Yeah. In Saarespiila, Uukuniemi. English. Speech story. Yeah, and I wanted to start because I think it's very crucial if you have any chance to tap straight into the living tradition of your culture, of your area. And I have it because I was probably 7, I always went to get the cows from the fields. We had like 36 hectares, we had a quite big, so I had to go like 1 kilometer away often. I was listening like this on the road, like the Native Americans, you know, if I heard a bell, and if I heard it, I went, and then I was calling them, Monchique, hello da, koti, 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 selema che, Monchique, hello da, koti, 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 koti. So, in Latvia I heard Maya, 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 Maya. A neighbor of Naina's Juris, that's what she was calling them. So, I have inherited the living tradition from my mother, and with unbroken chain from my very, very old ancestors and ancestry from maybe hundreds of years back, you know. And I love the cows, and I've been doing some pilgrimages like in Spain and Italy, and I always sing to the cows. And they are like the best audience. I can tell them. They listen to you like they like stare, and then the leader comes a bit closer and they say, "Moo." I always try to take it as a positive compliment, but I'm not sure. We have to check it out.
I once made them run.
Sorry?
I sampled the cows and I kept walking my hiking path.
Yeah.
And they started running. They ran to the next neighbor. I'm so guilty for disturbing the cows.
They ran away with me.
Well, I don't know, something got them in this amok feeling. Probably the same.
Yes. Yeah, they get. Yeah. Wow. Yes. So I think it's good if you find these traces of unbroken tradition. And so for me, it's been really, really beautiful to have. And I've been seeing like this Hummani Hey. That has to do with my father being in the war and feeling really pity for the horses. He couldn't feel so much pity for the people, and he was really feeling pity for the horses. And he was saying, Hummani Hey. So then I could really relate to him also as a person, as a human being, yeah, under his harsh cover, you know. Yeah. So I think these are crucial connections. Also, directly to your parents, my mother started to write poetry when she was 80 years old, and she wrote like, and I edited the book for her with also 8 poems, and also I have a poem from her, and all my brothers and relatives are children and grandchildren. So it's never too late. I mean, and then I got to know that where I've inherited this poetic side of me. It wasn't from the father so much, it was from the mother. She didn't sing, but she was sometimes she was talking like singing sometimes when she did like poetry. So, and in Karelia, when I met Sandra Remsue, I've been walking in Vienna, Karelia. She could go directly from talking to singing. It was sort of change was fluid, and back, to talking, between talking and singing. So very interesting to see that. And we have one song that mothers sing still every day in Finland, which is Kalevala-like song. Everybody knows it, so we would, I don't have the words here, but I can translate them. It's called like Hush Hush Tobacco Roll. Do you know why a child is called a tobacco roll?
Tobacco roll.
Tobacco roll, yeah. Hush Hush the Tobacco Roll. Harry knows because he's smoking.
Because
Children, yeah.
because of the how they do the wrapping of the kid. It's like porridge in Mexico.
Exactly, yeah. They do the linen around. It could have been 1.5 meters, and it looked like a cigarette roll. And cigarettes were regarded as extremely healthy till the 19th century, and still early 19th century. They became like 17th century delivery, the tobacco, so from America. But it was regarded as something very, very healthy, and that's why it was a positive term more than a negative term. Even though today it sounds very funny. Cigarette rolls, yeah. Also, they were thinking at the time that children could fly. There was, especially in Orthodox tradition, there's 40 days of liminal time, and they thought that children could maybe fly away. And I think that's where they were also the death lullabies. There are many death lullabies because they were negotiating with death if the child would be our own or belonging to the death. And they were having used this bushel, vakka, where you throw seeds from, to measure the outer world away, like the death away. And with this bushel, and it was placed on the floor. And after 40 days, the child, if he or she was still alive, it was put straight in the middle of the room in a cradle. So that's at the background also of this. So it's a very, very mythic song, and also it's a dialogue between the mother and the child. The mother is asking, "How did you know how to come here?" And the child answers, the newborn child, that I saw your new gate. There was a hook, and there was a bear skin above the gate, and a sun wheel, ratas, ritti, ratas. So the strongest signs you never have there at the house, and the baby knew this will be my home. It's the same system with choosing Dalai Lama, for example. Yes, he had to recognize the clothes and objects of the earlier ones, and that's how they do it. So it's a very similar idea, and it's still being kept in this song, which is really old. Tupakki rulla, mistäs tiesit tänne tulla? I repeat it. Tupakki rulla, mistäs tiesit tänne tulla? Tulin pitkin Turun tietä, hämäläisten härkätietä. Tulin pitkin Turun tietä, hämäläisten härkätietä. Mistäs tunsit meidän portin? Näin teidän uuden portin. Hakalla pyöräpäällä, karhun talja portin päällä. Tupakki rulla, mistäs tiesit tänne tulla? Yeah. There's about 650 versions of this song on texts in the archives because it was wrote from Hämeenlinna or Hattula to Turku, and also San Jacob's Road. It was a pilgrimage road, it was for soldiers, it was for merchants, and there was a lot of people going, and there's only two main roads. It was the other one, and then the other was mostly to to Viborg from, I think, Turku to Viborg's road. Only these two, so it was very, very popular. That's why the song was traveling so much. So we find this song almost everywhere in Finland. It went even to the east. It was so popular.
Even I have been singing it as a kid, as a lullaby.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, when I teach it and sing it, always there's people who remember it like their grandmother singing it or their mother singing it. And so, yeah. So it's part of a living tradition, definitely. Also, Jussi Huovinen is the last singer said that this is the oldest one that's used now and the most known. Yeah. Yay. There's a wonderful video of a band that comes to Kaustinen called Slackbird. And if you have a chance to see it, it's called Tupakkaruola. Yeah. Did it arise something in you, like ideas, this song singing, or can you, because the melody is also ancient, we don't know how old this is, but probably words could be coming from like maybe 17th century, because that's when the tobacco came, Finland. Yeah, so you can trace it that way.
But melody could be older.
Sorry?
But the melody is probably older.
What is older?
Melody.
Yeah, melody, yeah, the melody could be older, definitely, yeah. Exactly, the words are, yeah, you're right, the words are. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to sing that to my children also, and when I'm putting them to sleep.
Ah,
And there's in like well, I'll show at some point. There's like Ruth in the Stone film. There was like actually the turning point where I had to lead a newborn, the spirit of a newborn baby with a shaman spirit with the light. I was singing that song. I couldn't remember all the words. I was humming the rest.
yeah.
But that's like well, you'll see it at some point. I get shivers when I thought about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it moves people also nowadays. It's so a lot. I notice whenever I teach it, yeah, it moves people. Okay, and then we could do a little bit more tracing of the roots. We have this. I'm one of the last ones who went to this kind of school before primary school. We call it kansakoulu. I don't know what is kansakoulu. It means folk school, basically, literally it means folk school. And when I finished it, we were 11 people in the school. There was, I think, 6 in the first 1, 2, 3 classes, and then 4, 5, 6. We were 5. I was with my cousin at the desk together, so it was really, really small. But this was taught us in the school, and I think for many others. Oli kerran onnimannista, matikasta, maitopyörästä, pöperästä, pieni rikistä, rimannosta, ristisolkesta, sopukasta, sormikinnasta, kipelosta, kirjakannesta, kirikässä nuoret miehet, naimattomat vielä viinan juomattavat, punaköyttä, punovat, rautaköyttä, rahnikoivat, jotta meri tyynenä pysyvi, kannalapsi kauneena. So there's elements of an incantation, like a spell, definitely, and it's been. There's a German researcher, and it's called Sampo Kirjakansi. I've read it also. There's about 10 pages about this incantation and about the words of it, and it seems to be connected to the creation. I've translated it with some AI help. First AI help. That is, yeah. Yes, sometimes I use that. Sometimes I use Google, but I also like to translate myself. Of course, you have to make corrections with Volvo always, but it's a bit quicker, as you know. Once there was Onnimanni, like maybe the first person, Onnimanni, and from Onnimanni came Burgots, the black fish that looks very ancient, matikka, made. Made in Finland, they say. You know Burgots? It's a black, like this, and you can take the skin like this away. And it's the best. It looks like eel, yeah, but it's not that It goes narrow at the end. It looks like little frogs. The frog babies, you know, this. It looks like that.
Kaulquallen.
Pikku sammahommoika se. Yeah. Burbot, you can check it, burbot. It is in English. And it's the best if you ever work on fish skin, leather. That's the best fish. And it's very easy to take it off from here. You take it like that. And they use it for fish textiles. You know, make these, what do you call these things, for example. Yeah. And from Burbot came Milky Way, maitopyörä. We call it milk wheel, in old language. Milk wheel, maitopyörä. From Burbot came Milky Way, matikasta maitopyörä. Maitopyörästä pöperö. From Milky Way came mush. I would call it like prima materia. Something like you see in the volcanic thing happening these days also. You know, mush. And from mush came small sulfur, pieni rikki. So the first, what you call, mineral started to form.
Sulfur.
This is a mineral, sulfur.
Sulfur.
Sulfur. Yeah, sulfur.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first alkaline. What is alkaline?
The prime material.
Yeah, prime material started to form. And from small sulfur came bar. I don't mean the drinking bar, but the bar is, I met like one blacksmith, Rimanto, he said that the rima is called the thing you make, you have this brooch here, also like you know it, and when you tie the two sides together with a piece of cloth. I think it has also meaning that it has two sides, but they tie two sides together like that. And so bar is used, it's like a tanko, like this, and from that they make this brooch, this ristisolki. Yeah. So that's the material for this brooch. Yeah. So from bar came cross brooch, we call it cross brooch. Brooch. And from cross brooch came nuk, rimanosta sopukka, nuk. Nuk is, sopukka is beginning of space. It's like space without a form, somehow. And from the nuk, the space without the form became mitten, a glove. You started to have a form for the space, first forms for the space. And from mitten came spark, kipelo. It's in some versions it's kipinä, it means the spark. So definitely it's the spark. From mitten came spark. So and the spark is often connected to a newborn baby. Like in when you do the spinning, you have this rukinlapa. What do you call this? When you put this with decorations. Yeah, rukinlapa. And so in Finland, there's usually often the sun is up there, but below here there's a child or sometimes a couple. And that's connected to the spark that comes from the sky that I was singing yesterday also, the birth of fire. The first spark is a symbol of the newborn baby also. So that's how it comes. And from spark came kirjakansi, the sky lid, the sky cover, kirjakansi. And from sky cover came church. Kirikka is still in Estonia, church. From sky cover came church. So it's also development of our awareness, of our consciousness, of our mythology, you know, how the times are changing and following and describing that, you know, and where we all come from. It's like if I've been to the monastery in Heinävesi, then they on 6th of January they start by blessing also like nitrogen and the waters from this basic, like these basic elements. And they start by and then they expand to the whole world, all the waters in the world. But they start with these basic water elements. I think it's connected to that thinking. And then it goes in church, the young men, young unmarried men, not yet drinkers of liquor. That's how it goes. Vielä viinan juomattomat. Yeah, no booze yet, sort of. thing, guys. So they are like innocent. I mean, these kids are like innocent. They are keeping the innocence in the world. They have still like healthy beliefs. They have a system, a healthy system for the world. They braid the red rope, braiding, braiding the red rope, and weaving the iron rope. And that the sea may remain calm. They talked about the primordial sea, like the original sea. That world wouldn't just collapse back to chaos where it started from. So they're keeping, through the singing, they are keeping the sea calm and, and people connected to each other and holding into the old culture. And the child of the origin endures in beauty. That makes the child of the origin endure in beauty. This whole thing. So that's in one line, basically the whole story in a way. You need to sing these songs in order for the world stay in its somehow original structure and meaning and to keep the original connections of meaning. Yeah. So let's sing it also, because I like to sing things it's probably they often were singing spells or incantational charms, sometimes speaking them. It depends. If he had a quick thing, like he needed to stop the blood bleeding, and then he had to be quick, so they didn't sing. They would say, seiso veri niin kuin seinä, asu urme niin kuin aita, niin kuin miekka meressä seiso. So it went like that. But this, oli kerran onnimanni, Onni stamatikkaa, matikasta maitopyörää, maitopyörää, stäpöperö, pöperöstä pieni rikki, stärimanto, ilman nostaa ristisolki, ristisoljesta sopukkaa, sopukasta sormikinnas, takipelo, kipelosta kirjokansi, kirjokannesta kirikkää, kirikassa nuoret miehet. Nuoret miehet naimattomat. Vielä viinan juomattomat. Punaköyttä punovat. Rautaköyttä rahmikoivat. Jotta meri tyynenä pysyvi. Kannan lapsi kauneena.
Hey, some props for the non-Finnish speakers here. We are really trying.
Yeah, well, yeah. Great. Ooh, yay. There is a funny. Maybe there is. Can you play? I can switch screens. A bit more. Is it brand new? It is from.
You can touch it and move it. Touch and move.
Here they are adding like here you can see one of the original recordings of it. Here by Fedosha Petrova from and then Karolina Antelina, who belongs to Västinä, is there, and then Paone, who is one of my favorite bands. And this is from this year. And there's many versions of this song now, so it's getting very popular. I know at least 5 very great versions of this Oli kerran Onnimanni. So can I press this?
Yeah.
What happens?
Do it.
No.
Do it again. The green one. The green one.
Archives. mixing of the archive. I think Latvians, you also have something like that. What's the group called there? You have several, or do you?
Zeme.
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 Like the land, Zeme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
but
else?
there's a group in Estonia that does a lot of
They does also, yes.
Yeah.
threat attack.
Yeah, I've heard they're also wonderful, yeah.
And you can ask that.
Kanela is the name of the song. But often it's called Onnimanni, the song. Onnimanni, yeah. Onnimanni.
Onni-manni.
Onnimanni. Probably the first human, yeah. Oltermanni say something, Olterman or Onnimanni, but I think it's connected to the first person. Like it often creates a myth, like Vikings and Yumi and so Väinämöinen and so on. Yeah. You know, Väinämöinen is Väinäjoki is Daugava, so it's connected. I think that Kalevala is mostly happening in the Baltics, also because of Väinäjoki is the Daugava. So when I see the Great Bear in Latvia, you can climb. If you climb a tree, it's so low. And we have in Kalevala, or this tradition, we have a myth where you climb from the top of the tree to this star somehow. So.
Oh, we have songs about climbing the long beam up to the sky.
Oh, you have that.
And then we also have this following sentences where that turned into that and that turned into that and that was cut down by that.
Okay, yeah.
Similar structure.
Yeah, yes, yeah, great. Yeah. Yeah, so it could have been the Baltic Sea or the Vienna Sea, where it is, because there's so many stories about just like traveling on the waters, like Kalevala stories and so. Yeah, and then I would like to go to Anni Kirilov. This I just wanted to tell because I thought when I was until I was maybe 25 or something that there is only like one melody. Vaka vanha Väinämöinen, tietää jäi ikuinen. Laski laulellen vesiä, laski laulellen vesiä. Laski päivän, laski toisen ja laskipa kohta kolmannenkin. So I thought that there we have only one, and then I said I didn't know much. We had to study Kalevala in school, but it was still, the style was a bit harsh and formal, and I didn't get so interested in it or excited. But when I went to the book fair in Turku, I think it was around 1993 or something, the International Book Fair, and the leader of the folk music archives, I think she's called Anneli Asplund. We have a singer, almost the same name, but I think she was Anneli Asplund, and she played this song called Kantele. So it's Kuoples. It's the origin of Kuoples. In Finno-Karelian culture, it's connected to. They had a boat, and then they thought they were hitting an island or something, but it was a big pike, almost like swallowed the boat. But then Väinämöinen, our main sort of hero, godlike hero, shaman, killed the pike, and then they made the first kantele, the national instrument, from the jawbones of the kantele, using the teeth and for the strings and so on. Yes. So this talks about that story, and it was this Anneli Asplund who said that there are these like 1,500 melodies that you can use, and also in recording there's like I think at least 300. I think there's much more, but in her archive that she was reading in Helsinki, there were like 300 melodies on recorded melodies also. But often they didn't record them because these more than 100 collectors, they were more like just like they were more interested in getting like a mythology, not songs. So that's why we could have much more of those. But she also said that see here something like shamanistic in this song and something maybe connected even to the Sami, the indigenous, you will hear it. And for me it was a wake-up call, and I think I've been betrayed all these years. Why nobody told me? Because I was furious. And then I started to research like hell, you know, after when I was 25 or something like that, 23 maybe. And now I'm here. So I haven't been to the university or anything like to studying forestry studies, but I've just done the research. But this was the beginning for it, and only one thing, yeah. So I would like to play that now, and you get an idea how you feel about it. And this is just one of these tons of melodies. And yes, this is the second one. And she was a refugee and went to near Kotka. Yeah. So for me it sounded Eastern, and I thought, what is this? And curious, and also like the story behind it is very interesting because I read it from here and I remember it right. In 1922, the leader of the Berlin folk music archives came to record singers of the refugee center near Kotka. Kotka is a town sort of, is it South Karelia? It's a sort of the southern part of Finland, not by the coast. One of the singers was Anni, and Anni was from Vuokiniemi, which is the main Runo song village in Vienna, Karelia, in the Russian side. The border has been there since I think around 1520, 1530. All the time in the same place, and so we actually, it was never belonging to Finland, and Anni had to go from there as a refugee and ended up to this refugee center. And they were also, I think, altogether like 30 singers, and these archive recordings were lost for 40 years. And then somebody found the name of a professor who was this guy, and on top of this brown box, and then they found all these recordings. They were lost for like 40 years. So I was lucky, otherwise I wouldn't be on this track. Probably, who knows, but yeah, because in Finland we had the cylinders. They were, they were extremely heavy, and you could only put like 9 or 11 minutes on it, and they re-recorded them all. They were really heavy. And then in Berlin they already had like tape recording system. That's why the quality is pretty good. Yeah. So that is the story. Okay, and I don't know how long I have been talking. maybe I take one more. Is it right? Yeah, I take one more song because, it's also a little bit task for you. Also because I took this almost directly from Pielisjärvi, which is the place where I live, the old name for Joensuu and Joensuu area. And in this song I feel the tradition. With Martin we talked about the source and the essence of music. So I feel the essence, and I would somehow challenge you to, while you're listening to this, no, we're singing this together. But anyway, when you're singing it, try to feel what's the essence of this song, because through these songs I found the essence of the tradition, something that forms a ground where songs can be added, or paintings can be added, or music can be added. But I feel I can just like surf on this, like on a wave, like we saw on the beach, these surfers, these big waves. So I feel this sort of creates, at least for me. And I read the words in English, so you get an idea. I sing la la, I spin gold. I sing the rowan tree to the yard. So they were actually manifesting things and trees and objects and whatever needed through singing. A bit like indigenous Sami tradition, where they sing the grandfather or the grandmother or the fjell, the mountain, to exist in them for a while and then let it go after that. So quite similar ways, when you needed something, you sang it to be visible, manifesting it. I sing the rowan tree to the yard, the oak tree in the middle of the yard. An apple to every branch of that tree. So if it's a bit like tree of life, it has many shades, many forms. A golden wheel to each apple. I sing a golden wheel to each apple. I sing a cuckoo to each golden wheel. There's a cuckoo on each apple golden wheel, and a cuckoo. And when the cuckoo sings, honey flows from the mouth. Bronze drips from the jaws. Bronze, honey, to the golden cup, to the bronze bushel. This bushel where the baby was also put after birth. And I sing la la, I spin gold. La la laulan kultakerään, la la laulan kultakerään. You have to stand up, because this is a moving song. Yeah, I often dance this. I dance this song. I'll make it. La la, so it goes la la laulan kultakerään, la la lau. So it goes the third syllable up. La la laulan kultakerään, la la laulan kultakerään, laulan pihlajan pihalle, laulan pihlajan pihalle, tammen keskitampuvalle, tammen keskitampuvalle, joka oksalle omenan, joka oksalle omenan, omenalle kultapyörän, omenalle kultapyörän, kultapyörälle käkösen. Kultapyörälle käkösen, käkönen hukahtelee, käkönen hukahtelee. Kultasusta kumpuaa, kultasusta kumpuaa. Ja vaskileuvoilta valui, vaskileuvoilta valui. Kultaseen kukkoseen, kultaseen kukkoseen. Vaskyseen vakkaseen, vaskyseen vakkaseen. La la laulan kultakerään, la la laulan kultakerään, laulan pihlajan pihalle, laulan pihlajan pihalle, kammen keskitampuvalle, kammen keskitampuvalle, joka oksalle omenan, joka oksalle omenan, omenalle kultapyörän, omenalle kultapyörän, kultapyörälle käkösen, kultapyörälle käkösen. Käkönen hukahtelee,
ra.
La 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 kumbake ra.
Yay! Thank you very much. Take my money and run. No fish.
But so money,
Oh, you're great. Oh, great singing. Wonderful. I love it. Yeah. I
so
love it.
money is like the main energy, the purest form. Is that what you said in the beginning?
Money.
Because I was like, why the fuck is he talking about money? But it means something
The word
else.
money comes from the animal skin, the original word for money. It is like raha, it comes from the dried skin of animal. Yeah, oravanaka.
But you were saying something in the very beginning.
Only money.
Only
money.
Money, it's not money.
Only money.
Yeah.
Only
What does
money.
it mean?
The first money was printed at the time.
So it means what?
Well, it comes from money. Because
Only money. Oh, money, money, oh, money, hey! Oh, money, oh, money, hey! Tibetan Finnish cooperation. Oh, money, money.
It's actually kind of funny that I just realized that those what Eero was talking about, those the rhythmics of counting to 5 and these things. It have never occurred to me that that's where my internal rhythmics are coming, because that's the problem which I have had to play with each other, because naturally I tend to go to the rhythm of 5, not 4 like everyone else. So, thank you for that.
Yeah, 5 is the old film.
Because I have been playing in as an actor in Kalevala and a couple of times, and there is this strong inherited feeling, the belonging that. But I haven't ever studied anything. But my roots are from mother's side in in Karelia, and from there I have had this inherited kind of feel of them, but it hasn't ever occurred to me that that's true. Thank you.
Welcome.
You also mentioned some lullabies for the babies that you all know and your mother's son. So is this something that's really in your soul, basically?
Yes. Of course.
That's all because
Not just yours, everyone's.
I mean, almost everything. I think I'm in the borderline where it's starting to vanish, because I know maybe third of whole of my friends doesn't know it, but almost all will know it. But it kind of how I feel, I don't know actually, but this is how I feel.
So will you be losing it?
And I don't think so.
You say it's still alive, traditions.
I don't think that we'll be losing it, but it's kind of half and half, and half will carry it on, and it will be carried on. But there's this that not everybody, but I'm from the farm grounds, and there's a stronger sense of that kind of tradition, I think.
Yeah, like I couldn't hear this at home at all, but I like this song that this Kantele, for example. I woke up. Something in me woke up. Definitely. Yeah. So it's a bit like a sleep kind of thing.
Yeah. It speaks something inside, which for me, example, I have kind of this inner feeling that I know this song. Whenever I heard something like this, it's so deep in my own self. I'm not really good at explaining it.
Yes, we get it too in Portugal, and I still remember. I don't know why, how, but I still remember my mother singing lullaby song.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how, but I remember. If I heard the song, I know that my mother sang it to me. Yeah. But we lose in Portugal. We really lose the lullaby song.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the 2 songs ever I even remember that I have been heard as a kid, because my family is not musically inclined. So that's one of the 2 I remember.
There's also what Eero said, like that one sample, it sounds Eastern. Like, but it's
Yes.
like, I think it's what is common with, for example, with Kalevalian singing and yoik, and
Yeah.
they are pentatonic.
Exactly, yes.
So that's like
Yeah, there's, yeah. Also Asplund said that they see here is like a yoiking kind of thing there, because we have Vienna yoiks also, and they could be just like a fusion of the Sami yoik and then Runo laulu, this Runo singing, yeah. We call this Runo song, even though at the old times they called it rune singing, but rune is a bit misleading because it's a writing system more than a singing thing, and it's more connected to the Vikings, and so I like to call it Runo song. Runoi also meant like a sage, like at the old times in Karelia, Runoi, they said that was like a sage. Who often they were healers, these Runo singers also, and they do many things, yeah.
I think it was quite fascinating singing it because I didn't have a clue what to say. So if I was doing it right or wrong,
Yeah.
but somehow it's very inviting to just try to repeat, and no matter if you make a mistake, you're still having fun.
Yes.
It's an interesting, I don't know if it's about the poetry, I don't know if it's because it has these kind of archaic rhythms to it, but it's like kind of, yeah, it was like knowing I would probably make 20 mistakes because I heard it just for the very first time, but then it was kind of easy to follow, although I don't know what it means. So I think that's a very interesting aspect about ancient music, that when they have this like repetition thing, that you can easily repeat it, even though you might not have the educational background or you might not have learned how to write, you were still able to sing.
I think the idea was because you have this chorus, like the chorus response, then you have time to create a new verse, so they could change the singers, and then the group was always repeating. So it was enough that somebody remembered or made up something.
And there's the thing of gathering the collective intentive to make enough intention to gather the power towards the enchant or spell, some sort like in a stopping of blood. There was this emergency, and when they were trying to gather enough intention to the point where the blood flowing should be stopped, it had to be easy that everyone who was available could gather their energy towards that intention and make the blood flowing stop. So it has to be easy to come by and gather all the energy towards the intention of the enchant.
Yeah, and I think one thing that must make it like easier is that, you know, like that kind of that how it rhymes is the first syllable, or how it starts. Vakavan havainamane, tuu. It's like it's in the beginning. The first syllable is the same.
Initial.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I think that's even kind of, I would say that's sort of onomatopoetic, you know, exactly. That it's like, that's what also makes it easier. Just that, like it doesn't, it's not the meaning of the word, it's how the word sounds.
Exactly. Right, that's true.
I have to add to that rune thing which you thought, because I have used rune as the old Futharkic runes as enchantments for plays and instruments, because it's gathered as a group of 5, 7 or 9, and it is built a little bit like those songs. It just occurred to me at the moment, and it's built like that. There's always like the first thing, and which is giving it to the third, and the second one is adding to the quality of the first wish towards the third, and the fifth, which is the most used, is the fifth, is how the ending of this enchantment should be resolved, and the fourth one was for how everything before in runes will resolve to that ending of the enchantment. So there's this kind of, in how I see it, there's much of similarities in there, and in adding to that, that's not so far-fetched to call
Okay, the
rune, because it's not only for the language, it's also for the enchanting.
Yeah, part. You're right. Can I suggest you still listen to, because there's you ancient Kuokle playing from 100 years back, almost, and Teppana Yanis. Yanis, you also like Yanis. It's like Yanis. It's a rabbit. It's a hare. Yeah. Actually, it's a hare. And also because Taito was my friend, we were starting together the throat singing society in Finland 25 years ago, and. Also when Albert Kuvetsin that I was seeing yesterday, he was teaching us, we were there and Taito was the first chairperson. She had produced half of the folk music recordings in Finland. He died last year, he was 50 around, and he was a leader, and also he was just chosen to lead the Juminkeko in Kuhmo, this folklore archive, kind of cultural center. But then he suddenly died, and then here he's singing with Teppana Yanis, Teppana from Vienna, Karelia about 100 years ago, and I would like just to listen to that, to honor this old generation and the young generation and the past ones and the ancestors, and hear the Kuokos, the Kantele also. So maybe you could...
Maybe I'll just ask a question before.
Okay.
Because I think we can listen to the songs and then we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
That spell you've done there at the beginning was really fast and with the same sounds. So it reminds me about tongue twisters. Do you have that as well?
What
tongue twisters?
Tongue twisters, yes.
Yes, we have. Appilan pappilan apupappi papopata pangolla kiehuja puhu appilan pappilan apupappi papopata pangolla kiehuja puhu appilan pappilan apupappi papopata pangolla kiehuja puhu mustan kissan paksut posket mustan kissan paksut posket mustan kissan paksut posket.
Wow.
Yeah, though we have.
But what is it?
Yeah, difficult.
Does it have a meaning?
The thick cheeks of a black cat.
Okay, I'm asking just because I've been working some tongue twisters. In Algarve, we have a particular tradition.
Can you show?
We have tongue twisters without meaning.
Yes.
They just made up words so that they can match what they want.
Yeah.
There's no meaning around this, it's just,
We have a little bit of meaning. Yeah. Like the thick cheeks, thick. But cheeks of a black cat.
But they're mostly humorous meanings.
They're humorous meanings, yeah. They are like nonsense in a way. Also, yeah. I know. But if we can play it,
Number 3.
Number 3.
Or we can.
Number 3.
Or we can use the 4th, which just like.
There on the Vienna Karelia.
Oh, I have that down.
Yeah.
What year is this? What year?
I think maybe 1920s. Yeah. Montchique, Karelia, they had to move Orthodox at 17th century far away to Russia because of Lutheran church came in. So there was a death lament. Why did you leave me? And there was this sadness and sorrow. And
where does that Eastern sound? Every now and then it's Melissa,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like very Eastern.
they went
Yeah.
so far. They went quite far to Russia, in Tver. But I have friends in. Okay, yeah, let's go. I love this. You know, Suistamusääkä. They were in Womex. Main performance in Womex last in Tampere. This also on money. Hangover days. From hangover days to Paradise.
The writer of this song won the Finlandia Award.
When I see incantations, I use this Honeyman as the form because it's so easy. Yeah, thank you very many. I think we have a coffee break.